What's up, Trainiacs? Welcome to this week's Triathlon News Day Tuesday. Zwift is getting into coaching. There are a whole mess of showdowns going on all around the world, head-to-head ones, really good ones. And a Trainiac pulls themselves up out of the depths of despair, and triathlon helps them out. It's a good one today. What's up, triathletes? Welcome to this week's Triathlon News Day Tuesday, where we talk about all of the triathlon-isms going on in the triathlon world. As always, stick around to the end where we share a story from the Trainiac community. It is everyone's favorite part of Triathlon News Day Tuesday. And as always, links to relevant videos are in the description below. Let's get into it. So to start off, Zwift has announced that they are releasing a dynamic running and cycling training program as part of the Zwift app. It's going to adjust to when your schedule allows you to train. It's also going to adjust for overtraining. So if you don't get in a workout within a specified time period, that workout will just then be unavailable, so you can't go back and layer it on while doing future workouts. What's going to happen though is if you miss a previous workout, the rest of your week is going to be adjusted. I actually really like the sounds of it, and I'm glad that I'm doubling down on more Zwift. More Zwift for everyone. Now, races and races and races, and so many big races this week that I didn't know what to leave out, what to put in. So I just did them all, and we are going to go through them really quickly, starting off with the Escape from Alcatraz Triathlon in San Francisco. We had some really close races at Escape from Alcatraz. Ben Kanute won by just 7 seconds over Cameron Dye. On the women's side, Sarah Haskins won by just 15 seconds over Alicia Kay. Got to keep going and keep the pace alive here, folks. So getting into the challenge families, just the championship, that was all it was called, just the championship. In Sabarin, we had a head-to-head race with Lionel Sanders and Sebastien Kienle, and the days leading up to it, they were both talking about what was going to be required to win that race, and it would be something that maybe they have never done before, and maybe the triathlon world has never seen before, and they did not disappoint. They went head-to-head, jockeying back and forth, and really it was only settled in the last 4 kilometers when Lionel pulled away on the run and took the win. On the women's side, Great Britain's Lucy Charles, who has been dominant over the past year, really wasn't challenged whatsoever, obviously coming out ahead on the swim, being a former Olympic hopeful, and then just trotting her way into victory without another woman even close in behind. Now, speaking of head-to-heads, 2 other juggernauts, Patrick Lange and Frodeno, went head-to-head at Ironman 70.3 Kraichau. And this was billeted as a head-to-head. They had graphic designers making like bing, 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 little head-to-head mock-ups. And in the end, Frodeno won, dumped a can of beer over Patrick Lange's head to establish his dominance. Now, looking back on previous seasons, I don't read a ton into this saying, well, Frodeno is of course the better athlete, because what we've seen over the past couple of years is as Patrick Lange tends to hold back a little bit leading into the Ironman World Championship, and he peaks specifically for that one race every year. On the women's side in Kraichau, Laura Philipp ended up winning. Let's keep it going here. Ironman Raleigh 70.3 happened. Jackson Laundrie won on the men's side, continuing his excellent season, and an excellent comeback story. Meredith Kessler, fellow Ventum rider, won on the women's side, establishing that her comeback from having her first child last year is back on, because she didn't beat just anyone. Heather Jackson was in second. Now, interestingly, in Raleigh, the day before the race, Matt Russell announced that he wouldn't be racing because his body wasn't 100%, and he also won't be racing in Eagleman. He didn't really elaborate much beyond that, but fortunately, about 6 days from now, we're going to have him on the Triathlon Taren podcast, which just so happens to be the most highly reviewed triathlon podcast in the world. So we'll be sure to ask Matt what's going on there. I hope he's well. Full Ironman Philippines also happened over the weekend. It's the first full distance Ironman that happened in the Philippines. Nick Baldwin won on the men's side, and another female comeback story happened. Liz Blatchford won, who also had her first child last year. And finally, the red-headed stepchild of this week's Ironman distance racing, where there was basically no coverage whatsoever. I even had a hard time finding photos and video to share with you here. Ironman 70.3 Victoria, of course. Who wants to listen to the Canadians? Fortunately, Canada came to play. Cody Beals won on the men's side, and Canadian Rachel McBride had to surge on the run to take down the women's title. Now, let's get into everyone's favorite part of Triathlon Newsday Tuesday. That's a story from the Trainiac community, and today's story comes from Carrie, who, my goodness, is such an amazing fighter. Hi Taren, I'm just restarting my triathlon journey after a 20-year break. I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at the age of 9, and a rather unstable family life meant that I had to take full responsibility for my own care. In and out of the hospital literally hundreds of times became easier to just ignore my diabetes and the overwhelming task of controlling it. At the age of 20, I had my son Carver, and I even managed a couple of sprint triathlons after that. Skip forward to age 25, and although my husband was giving me amazing support with my diabetes, one day as I was picking up socks from the bedroom floor, blood poured into both of the back of my eyes and everything instantly went black. I had several surgeries and treatments, but I was left seriously visually impaired. During this time, I was also struck with further complications from my diabetes, including pain and altered sensation in my hands and feet, gastroparesis, which led to 2 stomach surgeries and 3/4 of my bowel being removed. I had stage 3 kidney disease and autonomic neuropathy, which affects my ability to regulate my temperature and heart rate. I became bedridden for 2 years and was told that I would likely die before my 30th birthday. My husband fortunately never gave up on finding treatment for me, however, and I ended up having a pancreas transplant in January 2008 and haven't looked back since, even despite a thyroid cancer diagnosis in 2016 where I had surgery to remove half my thyroid. In big capital letters here, Carrie says, after my transplant, I vowed I would never spend another day in bed, and I haven't. I took responsibility for my own recovery, and from that day, began increasing my activity and nutrition, decreasing my countless medications. Today, I'm on my immunosuppression to stop rejection of the pancreas and nothing else. I plan to take part in the Superhero Paratriathlon on August 2018 at Dorney Lake in England. I'm planning to continue on with my paratriathlon journey after August. I love the triathlon lifestyle and feel so blessed that I've been given a second chance to live the life that I so nearly lost. I feel confident and prepared as I head towards this pivotal event and as I celebrate not only the 10th year anniversary of my transplant, but also another 10 years on this planet that I didn't think I'd see. Many thanks from a very appreciative Trainiac, Carrie. I think that this is a fantastic story, Carrie. Thank you very much for sharing it with me. I think the awesome part of this story is how you're using the triathlon journey, not the awards, not the podium finishes, not the times, not the increased distances, but the journey, the lifestyle to make your life feel special. And I think that's what's special about triathlon. So awesome. Good luck to you, Carrie. Let me know how it goes in August this year. If anyone else wants to get their story shared here on Triathlon Newsday Tuesday, where we share triathlon-isms from around the world every single Tuesday, email me at Taren@triathlontaren.com. And if you like these Triathlon Newsdays and you aren't yet subscribed, hit the subscribe button below. If you are subscribed, hit the like button. Like it up!